Start.
Are we started?
Yeah, it's counting.
Oh, okay.
It's counting.
So, welcome to the Unscrewed Mind episode
17.
Is this lucky? Is this the one and only lucky 17?
Lucky number 17. I wouldn't have it any other way at this point. At this point.
So for those of you out there, Matt and I may or may not have just spent over an hour trying to get the video feed set up how we wanted.
An hour and 27 minutes, right? Right. But who's counting?
Yeah, an hour and 27 minutes. And then yesterday, when we were actually supposed to record the podcast, we spent over an hour as well.
Right.
So today's podcast is this just the perfect framework for what we've been doing is ignoring your current circumstances or reality.
Right.
And so it plays in perfectly to what we have to ignore those 2 hours and just try again. Maybe it's just a test of faith.
I failed it yesterday big time.
I almost failed today.
When in a fit of rage, I was like, it's not happening today. And I just logged out of everything and shut the computer. And then today I could definitely see, like, because the funny thing is like we couldn't hear each other back and forth, but we could see each other. And I know that we could see like the temperature rising on the other side of the camera as it was moving up to the top. And I was just like, there's no way we're going to have the energy once this is all wrapped up to put together the sort of podcast or the episode that we knew that this was going to be coming into it.
Well, the thing is too, is you were frustrated yesterday with it, and I was frustrated with it today.
Mm-hmm.
And then also last week was supposed to be our first video podcast.
Yep.
And the podcasting software that we're using decided to not record my video correctly, right? It like compressed it or something.
Yeah, it compressed it. It made you look like, and this is a really good description. It made you look like a 1980s movie, like the very start of it or the very end, how it would stretch that picture and make you make the character look super long. Like it took your shoulders and it squashed them into like the size of your head.
Yeah.
And then it took your head and it pushed it like all the way out of the frame.
Yeah.
And long story short, it's unusable.
Yeah.
Like I don't want that to be the first time anyone sees you, you know?
In the back of my mind, I really felt like that you were really questioning if you should just go ahead and post it that way.
I feel like between me and you,
you didn't come out and say no just then, so I was correct.
Between you and I feel like the video being up and being consumable is a benchmark that we've been aiming for a long time, and I wanted that win. You know, like I feel like it's a win for me, and it's significant for us, and I wanted it. You know.
Yeah. No,
and I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. The best part is especially with what we're going to talk about today, that reality already exists and we're being pulled towards it. There's nothing that can stop it. I just, I got to maintain the highest vibration possible so that it happens as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. That, just what we went through on setting this up is that you need to go for like a nature walk if you're going to be messing. And Matt and I both are pretty, I would say that we're tech people. So we're going to throw that out there. A lot of computer equipment, a lot of phones, a lot of anything digital.
Multiple operating systems, cameras were tried, camera apps.
I mean, it's worth noting that I am wearing a pair of earpods, And
Mm-hmm.
I literally probably have more headphones than 99% of the population, at least.
I think you bought Dr. Dre a Rolls
Yeah.
at some point. Like
So,
he's driving around a vehicle that's got your name on it, and it's
yeah.
like he's like, thanks, Rusty.
So anyway, yeah,
We tried everything.
These are hooked up, so I can hear right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, today's topic, like we mentioned, is going to be, ignoring your current circumstances in favor of thinking in the end of, or as your manifestation is already complete. And how do you do that when things are going wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it really, it tests your faith to the maximum. Me personally, I have an idea in my mind about how events will have to take place in order for me to get to the things that I want.
Yep.
And that's a limitation 100%. But you have to realize that the limitation is there, and you either have to reprogram your thought process, or you have to accept that limitation and work with it.
Okay.
But so what does ignoring your current reality look like? There's tons of great examples out there. One of my favorites is a Neville story. It's about a married couple that they wanted to have a apartment complex on their land. Have you heard this story, Matt?
No.
Okay.
No.
So they wanted to have so I can say anything I want then at this point.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just
and it came from the mouth of Neville.
So
like, let me hear what he said.
So if anybody's out there listening and I get something wrong, don't sacrifice me. I'm just getting the general story out. Okay.
Yep.
So they wanted to have an apartment complex on their land. They were towards retirement. They didn't have the financial means to build this apartment complex, but they continued to live in the end fact of that they would have that apartment complex on their land, and it would provide financial, income for them for years to come. And so they knew, looking at their bank account, they knew that they did not have the funds to do it, and they didn't know who was going to do it. They didn't know any part of it. They just knew that their goal, and they kept a consistent thought pattern going on a daily basis and talking to each other as if it was.
Okay.
So day in and day out goes. I can't remember the exact time period behind it. I'm thinking it was around a year. But a guy comes to the front door that is a builder, and he says, "Hey, I think that you need to put an apartment complex out here in the front." Like they don't share anything with anybody about this. They keep it to themselves. And I think that this is something so important about this is part of ignoring your current reality, is not letting other people in on what you want, because you're putting out there an ability for that person to doubt your manifestation. And I'm not saying it will slow it down unless you think that it will slow it down. But I'm just saying, don't open any doors that you can't close, basically. So back to, so the person, he comes to him, says, "Hey, I need you, I think we could build an apartment complex out here," that kind of thing. And the guy says, or they say back to him, they were like, "Well, yeah, that's something that we would really want to do. However, we don't have the funding for it or anything like that." And so they go to sleep that night, same thought process. The builder calls them back the next day and says, you know what, I'm going to finance all of it. I'm going to put the apartment complex in, and I want, you guys can pay me back with the money that you make off of renting it, basically. Mm-hmm. So that's just a great example of ignoring your current reality. But if you're ignoring it, but you have a roadblock or a programming in your mind that you have been, if you're as dead set on the manifestation as you are on that you have an obstacle that you have to complete, then you're not really ignoring reality at that point. You're giving power to the obstacle, and you're giving power to the manifestation as well. And like we've said in past podcasts, start with things that are smaller and easier for you to manifest. It's fine to go ahead and get that big goal out there, set it in stone. But if you're the type of person that gets, frustrated because that manifestation isn't here today, or tomorrow or next month or 2 months from now, then you need to set yourself up with little wins so you can move into the bigger wins. And I think that that's something that is naturally taught to us, to take the small wins and they turn into bigger wins type situation. And I think that I like to use this podcast as an example, just because it is challenging to do some of these things and come up with, an idea that we think that is good for the next podcast, or how we're going to set up the video streaming. We've known that we want to do the video streaming for months. We've known that we want to do something on video on YouTube, on a platform where we're able to be seen as well, for a very long time. So I would say that we've ignored, it's naturally ignored the fact that we don't have it yet. Right.
Right. It's easy to ignore because it's not out there.
Yeah. We didn't do it. We didn't take the exact steps that we've done to this point, and we knew that we wanted to do it. But it's even the subject that we're talking about that wasn't available to us. We didn't even know what subject that we were going to talk about.
Yeah, we just wanted to get on and joke. Hey, yeah. Can I interrupt and ask you a question? So in the reading that I've done just on the law of attraction, ignoring your current circumstance, one of the things that I have trouble wrapping my brain around is how, like, if you're ignoring the present moment and you're thinking about what you want, how do you keep from thinking about?
I just missed it.
I saw you just lost your ear. Yeah. So when you're thinking about what you want, how do you keep yourself from accidentally focusing on the absence of it? Like it seems like that's a real fine law of attraction line that I know I have trouble with. I'm sure other people have trouble with just in everyday life. So how do you do it?
Well, no, everybody's going to be different on the way that they react to things. And we've talked about all of the different ways of manifesting that, we talked about on a couple podcasts back, or that, which manifestation process works the best. And there isn't just a one answer for everybody, but I feel for me personally, it's doing the things that raise your vibration that we've talked about in the past, that puts you in a moment that helps you ignore outside circumstances, because it's like a balance though that you're doing, because you're ignoring current reality, right? So if you're not, you don't have the amount of money that you want in your bank account, or if you don't have the person in your life that you're looking for, or, whatever the manifestation is that you're looking for, but you can do the things that we've talked about to raise your vibration. And so that's going to distract you from your current reality on the subject. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's situational, because you're not going to just ignore everything. That would be crazy. Then you wouldn't even be enjoying your life. And everything talks about the journey is the real manifestation.
Yeah.
It really is, because you're going to be able to, it would not be any fun whatsoever if we had 1 million subscribers right now, like
Yeah, I was just going to mention
overnight,
that.
and we did not start and go through the process of doing it.
Well, like you said, if we woke up tomorrow with a million person audience, we wouldn't know how to interact with that many people. I'm sure like the social media presence would just be insane. And like, what do you do?
Right.
How would you do it? And I would accept the challenge, but I know that it would be a lot, So maybe that's my manifestation roadblock.
Yeah, and yeah. Go ahead.
I think another thing too that I wrote these down when I was just looking into this a little bit, and it's like it's almost like a 4. If you watch any of the YouTube videos that I put together, I do like lists, right, where it's 4 this, 5 that, whatever. So like the 4 steps of ignoring your reality. One is like, and I just want to run these by you. You tell me what you think. Take stock of what is. Be grateful for what you have, which is what is. Be grateful for your dreams and what is coming, and then live like it's already here.
Yeah.
So
that's really good.
From there, the one thing that I think is really neat when you're talking about the law of attraction and the law of vibration is that you got to keep in mind that everything you want already exists. Everything that you're looking forward to is already out there, and because everything is energy, everything is vibration, and everything exists on different planes of reality. So as you raise your vibration, as you focus your thoughts, like you're going to phase in and out of where what you want is, and I mean you're going to get it. You just have to stay the course.
Yeah, I mean, it's just every time I'm just amazed at looking across my life and seeing the manifestations. And I know that that's what we talked about a little bit on the last podcast, but just, I mean, from vehicles to where I live to everything, it makes sense. It lines up with the amount of money that I make. Everything just lines up for me, and I know it does for Matt as well, because we've talked about it. And the thing about yesterday is it was almost a good lesson for what we were going to be talking about, because even though Matt was upset about it yesterday, and I was getting at first I was getting frustrated with it, but then I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go, because there was no reason to push it any further. Now I do like to sometimes do a little nitpicking, but I was doing it just out of fun. But Matt probably didn't think it was as fun as I did. But
I knew what you were doing when you asked me if I was still pouting. And then when I responded kind of with an open heart, and you sent me like the crying emoji, that's when I knew that there was no need to communicate with you anymore. And I was just like, I'm going to give this some time before I just completely, crush my vibration for the rest of the day and really manifest something dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the power of talking about how you want it to be is, I mean, that is something that is difficult to turn the tides on. For just like what I just said, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say it would be, it's something that I've already completed and I've mastered it and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And even I was talking to Matt in text message earlier about that specific thing, and I was about to type, that it is something that is difficult, and instead I wrote to him, I'm glad that I've already mastered it. But
yeah,
but I think the real win in this situation is I have awareness of the wrong thing to say, or the thing that is not going to help progress me towards my goals. Whereas in the past, no awareness whatsoever. I would just, everything flies out of my mouth. Actions were not intentional in any way towards anything specific. Now, I've always had a goal. Throughout my entire life, I have had an overarching goal um, that's driving me forward at every point throughout my life. And I think that I've had a lot of success from a career standpoint, from a family standpoint, from so many standpoints. And I think that that's helped me to feel comfortable talking to an audience of people, just in general, because I feel like that those things have been accomplished. And I think that, Matt, when we've talked about what you've done throughout your life, you were literally sitting exactly where you wanted to be. So it's just about, you've been manifesting, and we just didn't realize that it was a manifestation. We just thought that we did all of the little check boxes that somebody else told us to do in order to get to wherever,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's the way that we looked at it before. But when you do a activity like manifesting a car in a color that you haven't seen in 5 years, and then you see it in 1 day or 2 days or whatever it is, then you start to go, okay, wait just a second.
yeah,
So everything is coming to you that you want. Um, but look back across your life, and if it took you a couple of years to get something that you really wanted, it may take you a couple of years still, because you're setting up roadblocks for yourself. So awareness of your thoughts, meditation to clear your mind, and just feel the energy that's out there, and ignore everything that's being thrown at you, because everybody wants your manifestation. They want you to manifest what they want. So that's why we have so much programming in today's media and things, because they're trying to get a collective conscience behind the things that drive them. I've spoke about how I don't watch TV, and there is a show that my wife has been watching, Ink Master, and it is where they tattoo someone. And it's kind of like the old show where they would do the different
it's a
dresses.
it's a contest. It's a
Yeah,
contest
like
show.
a contest show. And so I have watched a couple episodes with her, because she's been watching them at night, before we go to bed and that kind of thing. And so I've watched a few, and the thing is it's on a service that has commercials.
So it's like Hulu or something like that.
No, it's like it's through Paramount, and you can't get it commercial free. Like, I guess it's
No
pop.
amount,
I
no
get
amount you can pay,
no amount of
because you
money.
would pay
Well,
it.
no,
No amount.
you can buy the episodes. You can buy the episodes, but I
Okay.
I haven't gone that far yet, because I would rather just prefer to not watch it. But
So you
I
haven't
do
so you
get a
haven't
little
seen
intrigued.
commercials in a while. What were the commercials that
So
it showed?
yeah, that's the part I was going to tell you about. So I love like the toothbrush aisle. Like, If they have like a new toothbrush, like I've got the Sonicare, certain toothpaste. I remember when I was like 13, I'm buying what was that? What was the name of that one that came out with like it had two different colors toothpaste coming out of it? It started with an M, but it was some special toothpaste that came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like $12 toothpaste back in whatever, the 90s. Okay. And so this is like a lifelong thing, like different flossing things. I buy all the stuff on the toothpaste aisle. And so anyway, I haven't really been buying the stuff like I would. Like I used to see a new toothpaste come out, I buy the toothpaste, right?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, because it was something that I was interested in or whatever, right? So I was watching and I saw the commercials and I was like, they're advertising all of this toothpaste stuff, toothpaste, flossing, Oral-B, electric toothbrush. I was like, the reason why I don't buy that stuff anymore, besides the stuff that I just want, like I buy the flossing stuff I want and I have one toothpaste that I buy. I don't try different kinds. And it's because I haven't been watching any commercials.
It's almost like the universe has been waiting for you to turn on a television
just to show
with
it to me.
commercial programming for a year now, for 2 years. And so it had like stored up all this toothbrush energy. And then the second it felt your eyes on there, it's like, give him the toothbrush. And it's like,
but I mean, you know what I'm talking about, like the new toothbrushes where it's like 3D and it's like got the bristles going in every different direction and stuff.
Yeah, I could care less. I could care less. I just found out this year that I shouldn't be using hard bristled toothbrushes and that I should be going with soft.
Oh yeah.
And so I've been brushing my teeth with burlap sacks basically this whole time, wondering why my gums are receding. And the new dentist is like, yeah, you should be going softer. So now I have a soft toothbrush, and it doesn't feel like they're getting as clean, but they say it's better, so I'm rolling with it.
Well, the dentist always brags about how well I do take care of my teeth and gums. So I just want to mention
so your paradigm. That is so your paradigm.
Look, I've even got on my desk.
You need to let go of that attachment.
This is I think I've got a little bit of an addiction still. Look, this is like the new Arctic Blast peppermint oil glide picks. Anyway,
just one tooth, you're like, kook, throw it away.
Yeah,
kook,
yes,
throw it away.
Yes. So the takeaway here is don't let other things trap and steal your mind, your time. Focus on what you want to do right now and live in that the manifestation is on its way. It's coming. It's here, whichever way you want to look at it. But even that was kind of my like epiphany. Yeah. Yesterday.
Epiphany. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yesterday is I was thinking, everything's coming already on this podcast. And on our YouTube channel, it's already coming. So we're already working towards it. So to get overly upset about the train wreck that we incurred, there's just no point. There's no point.
2 trains.
Right.
Yeah. 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 So, it took me until like 8:30, and it was, what time were we messing with it? Like at noon. So from noon to 1:20. And then I kept that feeling until after my workout and till about 8:00. And then I came back downstairs to the office and started working on it to see if I could get it squared away again. And I knew I had it. And then today was just another setback, but that is okay. Because we're really, really close, and it's just going to make it that much sweeter once we're live and it's recording and it's happening, and it's perfect, because I know it's going to be perfect.
And we are planning on going live on YouTube actually tomorrow. So over the weekend, and then we're going to make that a weekly type situation. We don't have an exact time locked down that we're going to make it every week, but we're going to try a couple different ones, see what the reaction is, and then go from there.
Yep. Super exciting stuff. Well, Rusty, thanks. Thank
for
spending 4 hours to do this 30-minute podcast. And I think it's the best one. Lucky number 17 is going to be the best one.
Lucky number 17. All right. Talk to you later, Matt.
Later.